What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Shedding Your Skin. I got it right. I didn't call it Sunday Snake Chat again, so that's great. So thanks for tuning in. So we got John from Incoline. What's good? We got Ken from LMK. What's up, PA fam? Thanks for tuning in. We got my man Logan Ledka. Thanks for tuning in. Had a blast last night. All right, who else do we have? We got our guest in the chat. Mitzi, thanks for tuning in. Will, thanks for showing up. All right, we got Darlene, and we got Eric B, of course, another PA guy. All right, without further ado, let's just bring out our guest. We got Brett and AJ from FNA Balls.
What up? How's it going?
So what is good? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming on. We can finally do it since we're on different days now.
Yeah, right?
So for those people who don't know who the heck you are, can you guys give a brief introduction of, how long you've been in the reptile hobby and business, what got you into it, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm Fred. Vice versa.
A lot of people think he's Fred.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that when I first met you guys. Like a good 2 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, Fred and AJ, that's what the FNA stands for. We got in 2019 before COVID.
Yep.
So we actually were in it before COVID.
Not officially COVID babies.
We did blow up a little more during COVID and buy a lot more during that time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I think everybody did, honestly, because we had money, and if we were already into it, it's like, well, there's lots of it.
Everybody was home all the time looking at morph markets. So.
Yeah, more than normal.
That's just dangerous.
Morph markets, the devil.
But I mean, it's also hooked me up with some, breeders and got me some, snakes that I might not have found locally. So it's
Right.
nice.
It's awesome.
What's good, Kike?
And in the words of the dead, friend of the devil is a friend of mine. That morph market.
I still find it funny that people, like, in some of these Facebook groups, is like, is Morph Market a good place to buy? It's like, how do you not know Morph Market yet?
Right.
But so you guys, are you guys currently keeping anything other than just ball pythons?
I own a Australian water python, and I just got a blood python as well.
Oh, nice.
So, that's it.
And you got the blood? I don't remember.
I say I can grab him. He's out of quarantine now.
Oh, yeah. You want to show him off? That's cool.
Yeah, I'll grab him.
I've been debating getting a blood python, just for the size. Can take down some of these retiree rats.
Right. But I've been hearing one of the big things about them is a lot of people overfeed them, feed them too often.
Yeah, and they get fat.
Yeah, so you can't really use them as a true garbage disposal.
Oh, we got Justin in the chat. What's good, man?
What's up,
Thanks for
Justin?
tuning in. Yeah, I mean,
welcome.
right? Welcome to the live stream. Is that it?
Business?
You're just gonna say that?
Yeah, we don't watch.
Who's this guy? Eric says everybody needs a berm for garbage disposal. They get big.
Yeah, berms are cool, man. There's a lot of different fucking flavors of them I really, really like.
Yeah, from what I saw from Dylan last night, I was like, wow.
I didn't even know a champagne existed. Apparently, I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, I saw that one when I was driving home, so it was kind of hard to get a good representation. But I went back when I got home and scrolled through, and it was like, wow.
Right.
All right, so what we got in here?
So he's a T positive albino petite blood python.
Got some light on the subject.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And the pattern. The more and more I see some of these things, especially some of the stuff like Elias is putting out, it's just like, whew.
Yeah, that's actually a monsoon ultramel.
That's what I
right?
But yeah, he's pretty cool, man. He's really intense when you go to take him out. Like you touch him and he's like, looks like he's gonna bite you and shit. You just gotta be real slow, and he hasn't bit me yet, but boy, he's looked like he's gonna. Then once you get him out, he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, people got ball pilots that do the same thing. It's like, you're in my space,
Right.
Leave.
Exactly.
Most animals are like that.
The longer you take to pick him up and give him time to think about it, the more chance you are getting bit. Like,
Right.
going in and
I've definitely learned that with my bow. It's like, okay, we're gonna get past the you hate me, and then we're gonna be out, and then when I put you back, you can hate me again.
right.
But that's been definitely a learning curve, because he has always been feisty. But yeah, I mean, with blood, sometimes they do get a bad rap for being little bitey, but
I think they're like any other snake. The more you handle them, the more they're going to be chill. Like the Australian water pythons, if you look at most videos of those, they're pretty nuts and flighty and bitey, and mine's not anything like that.
Yeah. Fred fucking sleeps with his in his chair. Fucking snake just curls up with him.
Usually stays put too, but every once in a while she tries to go explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen with some of my snakes, and you'd be like, all right, we're watching TV, and then they're just, you're in the couch now, or getting a little too close to the dog, and it's like, hey, get away. I used to have that issue with letting some of the lizards out with the dog. Like, she'd be napping, and one of the, like, a gecko would jump and go flying, and it's like, all right, gotta put the dog away, then I gotta find a gecko, and it's just like, So we've stopped that practice here. So
Nice. Yeah, my dog's pretty good with the snakes. They just kind of come up and sniff them, and they don't try to bite them or eat them or anything like that. So.
we got the head to pop up.
That's Knox.
And then there's a wolf hybrid running around somewhere too.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one when you're doing the house tour.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't really come down here. His hips are. I don't think he likes stairs too much anymore.
Yeah.
I think one of you was cooking, and then we saw all the fish, and then we're back in the reptile room or something.
Yeah, no more fish now. They're all.
Woo! Fish.
I have that. I have the one left. Once that cichlid, once I can get rid of it or it dies or whatever, that tank is getting torn down and probably sold. Or I'm gonna turn it into a paludarium because I'm an idiot and I need more reptiles.
There you go.
I can't let all that stuff go away.
Yeah, whole damn fish.
Yeah.
Well, not for very long anyway.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back into more snake talk, because that's why everybody's here, right?
Hell yeah.
So yet again, I have two people on, so twice the answer. So this is fun. All right. So what is your favorite like incomplete dominant gene that you're currently working with?
Currently working. All right.
Yeah, it has to be in the rack behind you or in the other room.
I'll give you a different answer almost every time. So
I know. I want to go back and watch all these things and just get a poll and see what everyone says.
I hear what he says because I'm gonna say something different.
Right. All
I have
right.
a feeling we're gonna say the same thing.
I'm gonna go with probably gonna go with asphalt this time.
Oh. All right, I'm going with black.
I was thinking black. I say that a lot. So.
Yeah, I feel like everybody.
I was gonna say banana.
I feel like everybody's been on a blackhead kick lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing it pop up everywhere.
Right.
Not necessarily because somebody has produced something that with like a banger, example of a combo with it in it. It's just, everybody seems to either want to get into it now.
And that blackhead gene, it does stuff, man.
Well, it works real good with clown and pied, and those are basically the two biggest recessives out there. Brings a lot of
That's
pattern.
thanks, Tammy.
It brings a lot of pattern into clown and makes high pattern pies too.
Yeah, the only thing that stinks is that it's in that complex with the spot nose, and you can't really.
Man, there's too much good shit in there.
Right.
Yeah, especially in that newer side, like Blackhead, Spot Nose Wookie, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more that you're going to find out when you can't get a super. But at least you can make them, unlike, Spider and Champagne and all those ones.
Right.
So, I mean, at any point while I'm asking you these questions, you can just bring out snakes and show off your stuff. Because
No, we're not going to do that.
it's going to be very boring. Yeah, I like these ones where I've known the people I'm interviewing for quite a while because it's they're relatively laid back.
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
No, I said I like when I have people on that I know and we talk like every damn day.
Right.
So it's a little more laid back, and I'm not like, well, I'm going to say something stupid or something, whatever.
Sure. An example of a black-headed clown.
Oop, switch the video, damn it.
Guy gets pulled out a lot.
What the hell did I do? I tried to get a picture and my camera got all screwed up. Whatever. I'll just screen grab it later. Yeah, I mean, I really like that in clown.
Yeah, hopefully we're able to put him to work maybe later this year, probably next year though, for sure.
Yeah, how much does he weigh? Like about 500, 400, 500, something like that?
No, I think he's like right about 200.
Okay. Yeah. The camera's a little deceiving.
Right. We got a scale right here, we can find out. Oh, bud. I am not a ball python. I will not ball up.
I hate when that happens. It's like, stay still.
About 200.
Okay.
He's leaning on stuff and 187. 187 grams.
Yeah, so he's still got some time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not a big fan of, just power feeding males to get them to be up to that weight. It's like, they're going to eat in the same schedule as everybody else. And when they get there, they get there.
Yeah, they're going to mature when they mature. It doesn't matter how big they are necessarily.
Right. Because you can get him to be, he's 1,000 grams, but he's, 6 months old and he ain't got no plugs. So what?
Right.
You're wasting your time.
Hard at that point.
Males are always quicker than the females anyway. A lot of times you can use a male within a year or two. Females are not going to.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not even trying for, that second year female. It's like, no, you're going either later in the year or, that third winter. I've never had any luck. I tried it last year and it didn't work. So I am going to try it later this year with that Orange Dream possible double het clown hypo, just because if I can hit that and prove her out, and then I'm happy. Yeah, that'll definitely make me happy. But, all right, so we've heard about what incomplete dominance that you currently are working with, and that's your favorite. What do you want to add?
Well, we wanted to add GHI for a while. We got some GHI coming, so
Thanks,
I
man.
can't say that anymore.
Right.
Probably. Did you say it had to be incomplete dominant or recessive, or?
Incomplete dominant or codom for now.
Okay.
We'll get to the recessive later.
I'm gonna say bongo.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna say LC Black Magic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. That might be. I think that's the first. Somebody said that one.
Right. Catch me tomorrow. It might be.
That bomb gene.
Right.
I feel like for me it's the same thing. And the second I see something, it's like okay, now I kind of want that. And it's like, well, pump the brakes. You can't have everything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to change my answer. I'm going with berry gene, actually.
the berry bomb. Yeah, there's just something about these ball pythons that it's just like, wow.
Yeah, for sure.
You can add one gene and completely change everything about the animal.
Yeah.
As far as images go, and that's insane.
And sometimes the animal changes into 3 animals. You got the neck strut, you got the regular alien heads, then you got the cine chainin. He's almost 3 different animals.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts, and
What we believe to be the blackhead phantom cinnamon krypton.
yeah, you guys we were excited when you hatched that out.
Oh man, super excited. You can watch the video.
We actually like the video on the egg cutting. We didn't get as excited for that one as a couple of the other ones that wound up being a little more like not as rare. But yeah, once he actually fully came out, we were like, "What the hell is this thing?" Like,
Yeah, I remember
Krypton because it's obviously not a clown. Like,
right. I remember that chat. It was like a whole day of where the hell did pastel come from?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Like,
too.
one thing was clearly a pewter.
Yep.
PK says, I heard you want the Boza Classic. Hey, sometimes those classics have something in them.
Right?
Or, they're hiding some recesses.
we don't necessarily have a classic, but we got some heads. I can show
Yeah,
a
we
head.
got, like probably a single head is probably the closest thing we got to the classic.
Yeah, I actually don't have one anymore because it's a het now, and it's like, oh man. But I think KG was saying, was it last week? The same purposes as like a normal. If you don't have any recessives in the mix, right? It's not het for whatever visual you're using. You can go ahead and pair that unknown male or to a visual clown, visual pied, whatever. Find out what's in it, and then everything's het for that recessive. So you're not wasting, a pairing,
Right?
Where you get normals and some other single gene codons, and you got to move them, and it's not monetarily worth it.
There you go, PK. Wild type classic.
Normal.
And,
what else?
For desert ghost, so it's a little darker than usual.
And I mean, there's still something nice about just that wild type.
Got a crazy belly on him too, actually. So where you going, bud?
And I remember when I had gotten out of reptiles when I went to college, there was like 5 or 6 ball python genes at the time. So when I came back in, it's like, holy moly, there's more than just albinos and clowns and pieds.
Right.
So it took me a while to realize that, but once I got back in, I was picking up some stuff that I actually worthwhile instead of what I thought was good initially.
I'll go back. And
Yeah,
he's actually got blue eyes right now. I just noticed. Oh, he's not showing them though. Put him back so we can get the shin.
I mean, there's just something for like even with my my BCI that he's got no genetics that I know about, but it's just that normal type is just cool. And I like boas visually. I don't know if I'm going to get into breeding them just because of the size of the litters and the size of the animals.
Those are cool. They're definitely unique looking.
But yeah, seeing some of the lipstick and some of the other boa combinations. Like, okay, those are really cool.
I saw one with it's called I think Aztec or something like that. It was really cool.
But and they also take a lot longer to, establish and grow up, and then you're throwing a couple male. You're hoping, you're taking multiple males to the female to sort of see which one locks up. Compared with ball pythons, we're taking that male and just running him through the rack. So it's definitely a lot different.
So it looks like Darlene Kersey is not part of the Blue Crew over here.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's odd. Hold on. I wish I could see it on my end.
Order of ours.
Okay, there we go.
Edgar's saying bows are greater than balls.
Want to fight about it?
Oh, son of a gun! I'm not. Hold on.
They've both got pluses and minuses. Big minus, I believe to be for the boa is live birth. That looks hella messy.
All right. I really wish I could do it from this screen. All right, hold on.
I'd be tempted to just buy a new enclosure. From 905. If you're listening, Kent, it looks like 905 could be part of the Blue Crew too.
Yeah, I got it up on the phone now, so we're good. You have to make sure.
I think you're muted, Kent.
Luca does want to fight. I was bluffing.
Am I muted again? Am I back? Uh-oh, did I screw everything up?
Think you're muted, Kent. You can hear us.
Oh no, hold on.
He just got his on. He's fucking with this. Nope, he's like, I have to go. I'll be back. So welcome to the takeover.
Shush, I can't time people out.
All right, am I back?
See, that's why everybody needs to be blue.
Oh, Eric says I wasn't even
I still can't hear it.
Whatever, it's fine. We're fixed.
Anybody in the crowd hear him? Is it just us that can't hear him, or can anybody over there
Eric
hear?
says I'm not muted. So
You're not muted. Oh shit! What the hell?
okay, so it must be on your end then. It wouldn't be a live stream. That's some
There we go.
technical issues.
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Hold on, just a minute here. No, we're just gonna have to unplug the speakers, I guess.
Oh.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. We're back.
We'll do it this way.
All right. Where the heck were we before that happened? Bows and balls, right? And making people blue.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, it looks like Ray just showed up. He's not.
Yep, I got him. Welcome, Ray. Ray with an E.
Ray. Yeah.
All right. Got everybody. All right.
How long have you been keeping for then? No, you're asking the question.
I've had people hijack my own show. Mike started interviewing me a couple weeks ago. I was like, wait, that was my question. Come on, man. I've been keeping since I was like 6, so that's 20 some years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. I couldn't have a dog, and our cat was a spawn of Satan. So it had gerbil, everything that gerbils, hamsters, guinea pigs, and whatever. Those things didn't live that long. Fish that my parents constantly replaced because we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Right.
And then they found somehow back then I don't know how they found it because I know they didn't know, fauna or, any of those forums. So they found a local breeder and they got me an albino corn snake. So, back then that was, there were normals in the, the localities and albino. That was like it. So it was really kind of cool to have that. Had that until it was like a junior in college. I had that thing forever. But yeah, I only really started getting into everything when I moved into this place and no longer had the, had to run everything by my parents.
Right.
Finally in one place for more than a year, and it's like, okay, now I can get more stuff. So that's been nice. I'm running out of space. But you guys just picked up a whole new hatchling rack, right?
Yeah, from Animal Plastics, like 45 tub rack.
You guys know I'm looking, right? So I go on their website and I'm like, okay, the price isn't bad, shipping's not bad, and then I'm scrolling down to like, oh, you got to go buy the tubs separately. It's like, that's where they get you. Okay, what's good, CRM? Thanks for showing up. Elite.
It was still cheaper than going through AR or not ARS, but C surface. But like you do have to put it together, and it is kind of a hassle to put together.
Yeah, So the one I got from Sea Service that came assembled, and the one behind me from Reptile Basics, the VE, I had to put that together. That was a pain, and they sent me like an extra piece. So I'm like, what am I missing? It took me a while to realize I had an extra shelf, and I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah, it took me a while to realize that was just a shipping mistake.
Right, that's
that it was in there. And then I put it there. I think it's a boa file or boa master. I forget which one I got it from. What I got for the monitor, it took like 7 months to freaking get here, and then I had to put it together, and it's like,
right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it comes assembled.
Yeah, it's definitely nicer. I think the heat tape's probably the hardest thing to run on.
Yeah, the heat tape was a pain in the ass. The way it works out great the way it works, but to do it, it's like you have to feed it in through this way, and then you feed it back out so you can make it go through the channel, and then it comes out this way, and then you have to feed it back in, make it go up, and then feed it back out through the hole, then feed it back in through, make it go through the channel. Like, so you're fucking with it a lot.
That was a pain. I did all these myself, and I was like, oh my god, trying to get it to stick without routing it, the nightmare. So I have all this heat tape, the foil.
Right.
They use it in your custom incubators and whatnot, and it's just all taped down, and it's.
Right.
I really got to route it out and redo these, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, how they did it is actually pretty ingenious. Like, it's actually like routed, and then the heat tape slides in the routed spot.
Yeah, so it's sort of stuck there as well.
Yeah, so it goes like that kind of.
That's pretty cool.
And what was cool because I was looking, and I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna build. Here, so everybody can see, and I'm not tiny. I'm gonna build one of these rather than buy it, and then use these tubs and replace it with the I think VE8. I don't know, there's the 3 that fit in a level, and that'll give me 18. So that give me 36 for hatchlings. That should give me enough for a stopgap for this year.
Right. Hold you over for a minute at least.
Right. And it's sort of like in hindsight, rather than buying some snakes, I should have bought more racking. So when I grow, I sort of have room, but we all have that issue. We have an open tub. You got to fill it with a snake.
We've got a lot of empty tubs.
You don't need all that hatchling rack. He says he's got plenty of room over there.
Oh, well, shit, we can take them over there then. And then he'll send them back every time we sell one?
Send them back every time we sell one?
Because he didn't say anything about keeping anything, that's for sure. What a nice guy, though. He's gonna ship it for us too then? That would really be. We'll send everything over.
I feel like I know I'll have an issue if I'm like I get to Chris at BNS where I'll have to move everything into the other room so I can control the heat, and then I just have hatchling tubs just sitting everywhere. So buy some snakes from Chris.
Shout out to Chris. That's where I got that blood python from I was showing off earlier.
Yeah, big shout out to Chris.
Yeah, I've been trying not to get anything else from him because I feel like every time I go, I come back with something else, and it's like no, I went for this snake and I came back with 2. It's like, come on.
It can happen.
The deals, man.
Right? That is the way you get the deals. Well, I'm actually looking for 5 snakes, and it looks like you have 5 snakes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in my future there, getting the ARS, just because I can fit it right here next to me, and as much as I like, building my own stuff and being cheap because it works, there's just something nice about having quality.
Yeah.
And I've been racking my brain trying to, can I just, weld this thing up and do it and just buy the tubs and, build it myself. And it's like, I feel like that's going to be heavy as hell and not ideal.
And with shipping, tubs are actually pretty expensive to have shipped, and they've gone up a lot. So it's like almost not even worth it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think who was I looking at? It was like 400 for 40, something like that. It's like they're like $10 a tub, but you gotta buy 10.
Oh, it's more than that now, I bet, if you look at it. So I just priced because I was going to build another rodent rack, so I was pricing out like 70 and 80 tubs, and I want to say they basically doubled the price on them since I last bought them. I want to say they're around over $30 a tub, and then there's shipping, and after shipping, it's going to be 40 or 50 a tub. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Makes those concrete tubs look good.
Yeah, right.
And what are they, like $10, $12, something like that? I have to go buy more, so because I used my my backup ones because I had some butt heads that shoot out.
And what you do with those is you just double them up. That's what I used to do, is double up the tubs and make your rack to where it's thick enough to hold 2 tubs at the same time, because then they have to shoot through 2. And you're going to usually catch them when they shoot the first one before they can shoot the second one.
Yeah, last batch that I had problems with, they went down to Chris BNS. I traded. I got the grays and the blues now.
Nice.
Those are kind of cool, and I got some black ones. So yeah, I varied up my genetics in the rats, so that was cool.
We'll have some variety in your rats too.
Yeah, it is.
And I haven't seen a freaking Rex. I haven't seen a hairless one in a couple months, so I think I know I still have the carriers, right?
Right.
They're no longer, pairing with each other, so that's that's nice, because those things, I mean, they don't make for good digestion for.
Right. Yeah, they make for running poops, right?
Yeah.
You give them the snake runs, and they ain't even got legs.
B40, and it all depends for racking. It all depends where you're located,
Yeah.
For us here, ARS makes sense, or sea serpents, or if you're looking for the PVC stuff. But if you're on the other side of the country, Freedom Breeder makes sense, because freight shipping is just atrocious.
Yeah,
it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I paid, and this was for UPS. I don't know why it was so expensive. Probably just because of the weight, but it was like $100 some odd to ship my big enclosure. It was like 100 pounds. But it's like, okay, this is nice and not bad. Pretty affordable, getting all the lighting and all that stuff, all the heating, and then add to cart, and then shipping was just like, and that's nice. It leads a couple minutes away from, or a couple hours away from Freedom Breeder. That's not bad. But I think when we get the ARS racks, we're actually driving out there. So that's going to be a nice long trip. But I think it'll be cheaper to go out there, stay overnight, and drive back than the shipping. Unless my buddy's crazy and we do it in a day. All right. So what gene do you guys think is being slept on? Like, it's going to be the next, I don't know, champagne or pastel lately. I feel like those have gotten some.
Right, they've been getting up lately. I like that. Fucking underrated.
So we always like to say nanny in that question, but trying to think of something else too.
Always thought pinstripe was really underrated. Always liked pinstripe. Looks really good in pies. Looks really good in clowns.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
good in pies.
It looks nice in ultra melt too.
Right.
It breaks up that pattern. I feel like for me, like pinstripe, what it does with other things is better than it just standing by itself.
I like a good single gene pinstripe too, but yeah, I mean, there's no money in it or anything, but I mean, it's a beautiful snake.
Yeah, and then again, I don't know if I've actually seen one in person. I've just seen it with like in other combos. So that's I might have glanced at one at a show, but it's not like my eyes are drawn to it.
Right.
Zebra going to be the next big thing. I did see the rainbow that Jolly has, and that thing was pretty nice.
Yeah, rainbows are interesting.
Yeah.
I think zebras are cool, but I think they need to go down in price.
Zebra seems too reduced for me. I'm not really.
Has that super inchy look to it.
Yeah. Just super banded. Very. I don't know.
But yeah, it just depends on what you're going for.
Exactly.
Phil loves pinstripe. Phil also works with some crazy combinations aside from his Holy Grail stuff that he's working on.
Actually, I wonder what a zebra pinstripe would do. Because one's got the lines going this way, the other's got the lines going this way.
It'll be like a tic-tac-toe board.
Right? It comes out flat.
Yeah, bongos definitely might be one that
Yeah, I still haven't gotten anything. I feel like if I can get a bongo head Ultramel girl, I'll add it. Since I'm trying to add things now that work and not just, I need to get this gene in here and then it has no business, working with what I have. So unless it's got, unless it's het for any of the recessives that I'm working with or a visual, I'm probably going to pump the brakes on it and wait.
Sometimes it's worth more to wait for the right snake.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I've been dragging my feet on getting this male that I do need.
Oh, and by the way, we're not talking to you, Eric. Keep buying snakes.
Yeah, because it's like it's got to work, right? It's got to be better than what I have, and have something different that still works with everything. So, if I'm looking for like confusion or strange something like that, it's already pricey, and then throw in the hats. It's like it's got to be the right snake.
Yeah. After a while, man, rack space gets pretty pricey. Like, I mean, it has to be a pretty good fucking snake for us to put it in the rack these days.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same way. I'm still waiting on that snake from Antoine, and it depends. If it hits the visual clown, then it's like, okay, that's a good male. But if it doesn't, then it's a normal with heads. So I would have to, if I do want to get into DG or enhancer, I would have to, buy the visual female, sort of make that work. And I don't necessarily want to do that right now. But we're talking zebra. That's why Glenn showed up. He's got one. Okay, Eric says he's breeding confusion. Nice. And just put it into a recessive that I'm working with, and we'll be good.
I really like that confusion acid stuff, man.
Yeah. Who was it?
Gage.
Who the hell was it? Why can't I think of his name? He's the guy from Florida. Is it Dale? Yeah, guy from Florida, like half the damn breeders. Dale made that with acid ultramel.
Yeah, one guy that has the head. It's also got hand.
Who made that with ultramel?
Was it Dale from Constricted?
Oh, okay.
I forget his brand. One of the ones with Constricted in the name, but he's got some nice.
Dale Richards. I know who you're talking about. Where's the hat?
Yeah. Keys has had him on a couple times.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one that taught Keys how to pop.
Oh yeah. What was it? I can't remember either. I know exactly who you're talking about now. Whenever you said he taught Keys how to pop, I'm like, oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will says Dale Richards too.
Yeah, Terrence is much better at remembering everybody's actual names.
Yeah. I'm not so good at remembering names.
I'm getting better at it. Also, it helps if you put your name in your brand.
That's cool.
Unlike me.
What was that, kid?
And it helps if you put your actual name into your brand.
Oh, right.
But Kent Beer's Reptiles, that just didn't sound great. So it would have been like initials, and then I don't know. I was with my buddy a couple of years ago, and we were just chilling. It was like in the middle of COVID, and he was working from home, and we were watching this kid, and I'm just like, I just came up with the craft brew thing. I'm like, if I get into this heavily, that's what I'm going with, and sort of stuck with it. I didn't realize people would have trouble pronouncing morphology on the fly. But, all right, so we were talking about recessives and various things that we're working with. What is your favorite recessive to work with currently?
It's got to be clown. It's just there's so much you can do with it. It's so much. Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of switch it up and say Krypton.
Okay.
Kind of switch it up, and there.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna switch that one gene,
Right. Yeah, I mean,
I'm digging all the Krypton stuff though, and then you can still work on your clowns too, and then you got crazy shit popping out.
I mean, as long as you can know what you're producing, for the most part, I like that. Sort of either or kind of sucks because the visual, does slightly different things. So if you're looking for a clown and you get it, Krypton, and it's like, darn.
Right.
When you're making cryptics, and it's like, eh.
And see, for me, I wouldn't mind keeping either or. Like if it was the genes I wanted, if it came in cryptic or clown, I'm down. Because because if it's a clown, I want to breed cryptic to it. If it's a clown, I want to breed cryptic to it. If it's cryptic, I want to breed clown to it. Yeah, Krypton.
We don't. We're not trying to go for visual cryptids. Right. It's too similar to Kryptons.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're working with that, like everything in that mix, it's fine. But like with the yellow belly complex or something where, I guess that would be the only other one where it's sort of, do you have yellow belly, asphalt, or gravel? If you really can't tell in a combo, it's one of those produced from a highway or freeway or whatever, and you're really banking on the one, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna pair it to this yellow belly. Oh, I got ivories. Damn. It's sort of like a bummer because you want to make freeways or highways or whatever, and yeah,
we've been trying to stay away from the ents from that type of situation.
Yeah.
So, like for that, we would want either the visual clown or the visual Krypton.
Right, and I worry because I like everything has like a bell complex on it here for some of the things, and it's like I don't want to make a blue-eyed leucistic hypo leopard. It's like a white snake that's got packed genetics, but only I really know that. So I'm trying. Hopefully, this season I can breed the butter out, and I'll get a pastel leopard or something, and she, some of the other genes without the butter in there, so that way I can, use that male to make a better hets. And then I would know it's like, okay, this one just definitely has the butter. This one definitely, I'm going to sell this one or do something else with it.
Kind of the direction we go with the blackhead stuff we're doing. We're trying to get some of the phantom out of there, and the cinnamon, actually,
yeah.
just because we don't want the super phantom, super cinnamon.
Right. You run into that. It's like, okay, great.
The
You
whole
gotta,
April or white snake.
Right.
right. And it really doesn't matter. I don't think I've seen anything that can like undo that strength of a combination.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though like super phantoms have pattern, it seems like with bells that have pattern and like stuff like that, if you add more stuff to them, it just takes the pattern out. Like,
yeah, I think so too.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, the more genes you add, the more it washes out, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I'm concerned about with working some of the stuff I want to work into Ultramel. It's like, it really has to have that orange and that purple. Like it has to have that color, and if it can retain that through the project, then it's worthwhile. But if
Blackhead cypress would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if I get a Ultramel cinnamon pinstripe. I think that would be cool. And I don't. And some of these things here that I bought from XYZ or whatever, they might have some other stuff in them, and I just don't know.
That's always a possibility.
And even the stuff from BHB, he's like, I only sold it as what I see it. So if there's something else in there,
right?
And I actually that would make me really happy if I'm cutting eggs and something pops out that I don't expect.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that would be so amazing.
That'll be a happy. Oh, hey, this wound up being pied. Sweet. But I don't think I'm gonna get that 2 years in a row because I got lucky last season.
Right.
With that one animal proving the mom to be het for pied, which was nice.
Yeah.
And that actually, is a reason for her to stay. Because I should have, visual male pieds or something where she'll have a purpose because I can use her to make more pieds. All right, getting distracted by my damn phone. And I assume you got the same thing.
Yeah. Or no, I haven't checked any charts or anything. I've been trying to look at chat though, or the actual whatever. Words and stuff. They don't go along with me.
What's up, Pat?
What up, Pat?
I miss anybody? We got Rudy tuning in. Ken says he saw a GHI Ultramel. Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Will says his favorite one has been an Ultramel combo has been a Cypress Confusion. I bet that's insane.
That better, Will? Now it's all dark.
Yeah.
And I still haven't figured out how to get that thing to work right. So what recessive projects are you guys working? Like, what's your granddaddy of them all, Clutch? Now I can't see.
We're working Hypo Pied was one of our original ones. Clown we just got into this last year.
Obviously got a Krypton grill, so kind of partially working cryptic.
PG, we're working pretty hard now too. We put our Enchi Desert Ghost to a lot of grills this last year, so we got a lot of PG head stuff.
Yeah, I honestly thought when you showed off that clutch, I thought you had hit a DG.
Right? Yeah, like that.
I think it was just an Enchi het DG, but it was just bright.
Right. I would say with the pastel yellow belly Enchi, that clutch where we hit like 9 out of 11 had Enchi, and then only 2 were yellow belly pastel out the Enchi.
So we also have albino G stripe in our quad heads.
Right.
So that's like 6.5 so far. I think there's something else there.
We might have Ultramel.
Yeah, we could
Have 2 girls that are 66% Ultramel. We got to prove out with Pat actually.
Yep. Big shout out to Pat.
Sweet.
We have some girls coming here soon, hopefully, if you're still down.
Some visual pieds that are 50% 60% head hypo, 66% head ultramel, and he's got that visual hypo ultramel hide voice. So
The triple visual
if
god.
they're not, if they don't put out, they'll at least get guaranteed heads, you know, for what they don't put out for.
Because god damn, that snake is sexy.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna do some great things, hopefully.
Yeah, Pat's making some powerful ass quadruple heads with that guy too, man. Whew.
And like for me,
Desert Ghost into it.
oh yeah.
Different separate projects, but
Yeah, you don't. I feel like we're gonna get to the point where somebody's gonna put too much stuff together and it's gonna not work out. So you're gonna have a genetically powerful animal, but just it's not gonna look the way you think.
right. I think maybe if we get into some of those more delicate ones like puzzle or something,
Like stuff that more enhancing stuff.
yeah, then it might be. But I think that a lot of them are just so.
You just got to be careful which ones you're not. You know.
Seems like a lot of them are just so dominant that you can tell that recessive.
Yeah, I mean that's like my fear is that something's gonna be so overpowering that it's like, well, it's obviously that, but you can't see, all the other stuff that's in it.
Right. Like I would do like an ultramel ghost albino or something. That's for sure.
I don't know if I've seen an ultramel in with albino.
Yeah, I don't know that it would do anything. It would probably just look albino, I would imagine.
Like somewhere between.
Yeah, and it might just change the color slightly. I don't know. That'd be weird. There's probably a reason why they're not doing it. Like, you're not going to make a lavender albino.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
or like a candy. Oh, I was
gonna say it might. Yeah, it might wind up being something like a Candino.
Maybe.
That, who knows? Like a Lavino.
it doesn't do jack shit. It looks like a normal albino.
That's kind of what I figured.
I mean, I think that banana's a pause hat, but it's like I don't really want to work albino. If I happen to pop something out that pause hat to pause hat, that's fine. I'll sell it.
I know.
It increases the value when I go to sell the breeders later down the road when I improve upon them.
I know I'm in a minority, but I actually like regular albino more than lavender albino.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, like back in the day, I liked it, but now there's just more. You never know; it might come out green. If somebody can make a green ball python, that'll be the day.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like maybe in like pastel eyes, you get some hints of that greenish hue, but
Bamboos are pretty green.
Our Super Cypress Girl has some green tones.
Yeah. He would bust her out, but she is highly pregnant, right?
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Which is nice because she went to the Blackhead Phantom Cypress Found boy.
Nice.
Hopefully get some blackhead fucking cypress head clowns. Gonna be some nice ingredients.
Yeah. So you guys are making some crazy stuff because you're working with things that not everybody is working with. So I mean, you guys have had a couple worlds first. It's kind of cool.
Well, and who really knows if we do have worlds first, because like there's so many people that are working so much crazy shit and they don't report it. Like we haven't reported any of our worlds first, so like whenever we start looking at it, we're like, we really know what a world's first is?
Right. Because sometimes you go, okay, let's look it up on Morph Market.
Right.
It's like, well, of course there's nothing.
You're out on the whole internet, and then you can't find it, and then you're like, oh, I think I did it, and then somebody sends you a picture of it on eggs. You're like, apparently not. But yeah, we're fairly certain that we have a couple at least.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, and you can always. I forget who's live. I think I was John from Incline was talking about it. You make a world's first, do you sell it? because you make it again, or you?
It depends. If it's cool and it's going to be powerful, and I know people are going to want it, I keep it.
We're selling one of those nanny vanilla cream zones. We're pretty sure those were going first.
Yeah,
Couldn't find any.
right. But it's not like a crazy forging clown or something like that would cause a rumble in industry or something like.
Yeah, I feel like, if it's just something simple like that anybody could make, if they, in their collection they just didn't make that pairing, I'd probably sell it. But if it's something that it's unique here, like if say I find a combo that works great in Ultramel and it's just visually stunning, and it'll take some people some time to do that project, yeah, I'm definitely going to sit on that. It's like, sit on that for a while, because that'll drive up the value. Instead of just being like, okay, here you go. This is what I think it's a fair price. And then now it's a couple other people are making this, that project. So, so it's sort of, hit or miss depending on, what the animal is and how many other people can make it readily.
Right.
But, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I enjoy looking at your guys' your morph market. It's like, okay, what's gonna work? What's gonna work? What do you have that are hets that I can just bundle a bunch together? Unfortunately, I haven't produced what I need to make it worthwhile to get the hets. I'd just be waiting, to produce that. And I don't want to. If I don't hit the right gender odds, it's like, well, I bought the wrong gender for the hats, and it's like, well, now I'm waiting. I'm either ahead of the game on a male or behind the game on a female. And it's like, so
yeah, with our triple head G-stripe clown albino stuff, we ended up hitting only one female. So that's
I lucked out, or at least I thought I did until I found out the one was a male. I thought I had one male and 4 females, but it's actually 2 males.
Oh, nice.
It's nice for somebody that wants to work champagne that champagne pastel is a male, because they tend to throw a lot of champagne. My experience, same with spider.
If you're looking to not have a gene, you're going to have a lot of that gene.
You're right. I hit 4 champagne combos.
Right.
I didn't hit a normal, which is good. I'm sort of bummed that one wound up being a boy, because it sort of nixed the deal I had. So now I gotta figure out if I'm just gonna eat the shipping and make $20 maybe off of it. But I gotta talk to Morbid and see what he wants to do, because I do have that female champagne. So you get all the genes, it's just not in the one animal. But it's good, James. Thanks for showing up.
Without throwing our morph market link out there, Lecter.
So I thought it was funny. Normally everybody's got their their brand in the morph market name in the URL. When I was putting together the links that are in the description, so if you for some reason aren't following Fred and AJ at FNA, all their links, their Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Morph Market are in the description of the video.
Oh yeah, thank you, sir.
But yeah, which is like Fred Metal, huh? Okay.
Oh, right. I think that's because that's the original. Like that was like my personal Morph Market. I think I just turned it into.
Yeah. I think I might have 2 Morph Market accounts now. I think I have the one for the craft brew, and then I have my own. And I don't remember if I changed them, because I know for like everything else, I just changed my email address and added the business name.
I'll tell you what, it freaked me out one time because I went to log in and apparently I logged into the other account and like all of our animals were gone. I'm like, oh shit, what the hell happened? Like,
I started thinking about the same time he did.
I actually contacted Morph Market and was like, what's going on? And they're like, did you log into the right account? And I'm like, what? I have 2 accounts? Like,
yeah, So I have like a personal YouTube account, and I screwed that up because I watch like music videos and concerts and stuff on my personal account rather than the Craft Brew one, because I don't want to mess with my algorithm. And I was trying to make people moderators, and I was still logged in on my phone to the other account.
My life for an algorithm.
Right.
Yeah, I like to have it like curated with the stuff I want to watch that's reptile related. So if I have music and other things in there, it's gonna throw it off and suggest weird stuff. So I try to keep that so I'm not getting random videos in my feed or as suggestions.
The dark side of YouTube.
Though what was funny, I forget. I was watching one of my videos, and then it put another one of me on somebody else's show. It just popped up, and I'd fallen asleep, and I woke up and I'm like, why do I hear my voice? Like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
I forget whose show it was, but it was like odd because like I woke up at the point like I was on the solo screen talking, and I'm like, that was weird. But yeah, sometimes it throws me off when I'll pop one of my shows will pop up, or somebody else's show that I'm on just happens to pop up in my feed, and it's like, what the hell's going on? Like I'll be cleaning, and then just I come on the TV, and it's like, what? So Glenn has Gavin from Balls to Ease on. That should be fun.
Nice.
And I think I saw he's doing a giveaway.
Nice. Oh, yeah, man.
Sweet. So that's at 6 on his channel.
Rats on the 500.
Oh yeah.
And that's sweet. I'm still chugging along. I feel like I've been around like 260 for like the past month and a half. And it's my own damn fault because I stopped doing the weekly videos for a while because I was busy, and you guys got to be tired of seeing the same damn 5 hatchlings on every video.
Do some shorts on those same 5 hatchlings.
Or on your adults too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried doing that with the Cayman. It was a bad video, but it still didn't even get any traction. I even titled it like crazy, like
just because one doesn't mean the next one.
Right.
Right.
You have some that do like 200, 300, 400, and then some that do like 1600. It's just it's whatever YouTube wants to push on people.
You just keep putting those little shorts out there, and some of them will hit, man. And then you got a lot of subscribers from them.
And that's what I noticed. So when I stopped putting out, I was still doing this every week, right? But when I stopped doing the weekly video, I dropped off from, in the analytics. I'm no longer seeing, people that watch Keys, watch MJ, watch, all that analytics, and I'm like, so I'm probably not getting suggested because I noticed a drop off on my. I normally do about 100 to 200 for these things over time, which is fine. That hasn't changed. But on the videos I'm putting out, I'm noticing they're not getting pushed. So hopefully, now that I'm doing that again, it'll pick up.
Yeah, this is our second week we haven't put out a video.
Yeah, it's just not much content right now as far as because we usually do our videos on egg pulling cuttings, and then the updates on the clutches. There's nothing really going on right now.
Right. And for me, I have to get creative. I want to keep it mostly towards, ball pythons, I don't really want to do a bearded dragon husbandry video or a leopard gecko, because it's not my expertise, if you will. It's not what I work heavily in. And, sometimes those communities are kind of harsh. I keep my stuff on the most naturalistic environments I can. And I know that's a no-no for certain things. Oh my God, don't keep them on sand. Don't keep them together. It's these 3 leopard geckos, and the 2 males and a female have lived together almost their entire lives on sand. And they're 5, 6 years old now, and they're fine.
There are always people bitching about something. Right. Don't even worry about those people.
Yeah, or this one I got chewed up in the comments. I fed my monitor something when I had it, and it was a pretty good short. And they're like, no, you don't feed that. Don't feed that. I'm like, it was one thing. You saw one meal of this animal and you're grilling me. Like, of course I know that, it's a lean diet with a lot of variety, a lot of inverts. Like, so now it's like, okay, in the description, I will be better about that. And it's another thing I want to avoid is like, it's pretty cool to see lizards eat, but at the same time, people don't like that.
Do what you like, man.
No, I've been debating doing an assist feeding video while I still have to do it.
Yeah, I wanted to make one last year, but never really got it. Well, I tried to do it once, and the motherfucker would not eat.
Right. The one time you want to do the video, it won't eat.
Right? It was like the only time that, well, not the only time, but it's one of the very few times where I didn't get it to eat. Like, I kept trying, and the motherfucker just kept spitting it.
Yeah, I had that happen. I didn't realize it was in shed. Like, it had done I missed it going blue. So that little brightness before it actually shed. So I had no clue. And it's like, that's why it wasn't eating. Now I sort of learned to pick that up a little bit better with the champagnes, since there's so much going on, with the champagne. It's sort of be hard to tell. It's like, is it, what is it in shed? When it's not obvious.
Right.
With the other ones, it's sort of okay. It looks like crab is probably going in blue. But yeah, I've been debating doing the assist feeding, and then I don't want to get like, oh my god, that the things looks like it's still alive, and then somebody comes down on me for doing a live feeding video. It's like, well, this is informational. It's something I would have liked to have
There's always going to
find more.
Be somebody who disagrees with anything you do, man.
It's like, well, if I don't do it, this thing's gonna die. So,
yeah, they can be the cruel one. I ain't letting my animals die.
Right. So that one's still in the back burner, but I did the video I had out this week was like what to watch for at a reptile show, and I hope that one gains traction because a lot of people will go and they'll see that big table that has like everything under the sun on it, and they'll buy something, and it dies like a couple weeks later. Like, I don't think I've gotten anything from an import table that has survived more than a year.
Imports are tricky, that's for sure.
Right, but oftentimes you go to that table and they're more than happy to take your money, give you the animal, and not really inform you that much about it. So you think, oh, cool, I got this Amazon tree boa for $30. Probably might not know that it's a boreal, and you need that tall enclosure, and then the thing dies in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I try to. At this point, everything's, captive bred, or at least farmed. I think my Russian tortoises they're not captive bred. They're not wild caught either. They're an in-between one. So, I mean, that's like, I want to avoid that. Unless you're trying to, start a breeding project that nobody else is working on. So, depending on, it could be a lizard or a snake that nobody's working with and you're only getting imports. But I think, I'd rather be the one to import them myself than picking them up at a show. But,
yeah, I don't think I'd work with imports.
I mean, just the corn, like I want another monitor, but with some of those being like, I don't know where it's from type of thing. It's like, I'm going to be really picky because I'm not bringing in any, sick animal that I have to, quarantine, and I'm probably not doing frogs anymore because they have that cryptid, or they can have like the fungus that'll like wipe out, your entire collection.
These chats though is there's probably somebody in chat that's doing what you're looking for.
Right, and it's just finding the right thing. And I get for like certain animals, it's going to be a couple $1,000s just because nobody. They either take forever to grow up or. Like for a Cayman, it's I think like $2,000 for a captive bred baby, something ridiculous.
Yeah, a good animal costs good money.
So when I get that bigger lizard, or I'm gonna make sure, maybe from Mike's monitors, somebody, or Kevin and Nerd, I'm gonna get it from somebody that knows what the hell they're doing and can tell me more than I need to know about that animal, because I'm not dealing with, I'm the third owner of this a-hole animal, because people bites them once and it's gone. So that's for later. But yeah, it's a lot of things I wish I would have known years ago. Just when going to the reptile show and seeing that table with all these crazy animals on it, and the Pokemon people and us gotta have them all. It's like, oh, I haven't seen that. That is cool. I'm getting that. And then it's like a horned lizard, and you bring it home and you find out it only eats fire ants.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, where the hell you get fire ants?
Is it a dope animal? Hell yeah. But how are you gonna feed it?
So yeah, I mean, I've been trying to rack my brain to put out content like that, where it's still adjacent to ball python breeding and just good information, that sort of thing.
Fucking Lance just put out one hell of a snake.
Hold on. Oh my God.
Right? Yes, please.
And of course, he probably didn't tell you what the hell's in it.
Stranger and clown and something else.
You're gonna go with at least 5 figures.
Oh yeah. Yeah, too many chats and stuff.
Yeah, I got people texting me. I got pay attention to the chat scrolling here, and it's like I'm getting thrown off. I gotta be better.
Right. Yeah, I just was going 2 chats real quick to see what all was going on, and that snake popped up. I'm like, God damn it! Always happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you just see that animal, and it's like, okay, I gotta stop what I'm doing.
Right.
Okay. So, you guys, what's your most anticipated clutch this coming season?
Right. Banana lesser clown to the banana lesser clown to the blackhead phantom cinnamon clown. For me,
Yeah.
full clutch of clowns with banana and blackhead.
I'm kind of looking forward to the Krypton clutch again.
Was that the same pairing as last year?
Yeah.
And see what else pops out.
Yeah. Trying to do more blackhead clowns. And if we could get just a single gene blackhead Krypton,
yeah,
we would really like that.
Yeah, I didn't do the champagne pairing just because, and I still can, I guess, because I don't want more champagnes.
Right.
That with those genetics, because I have, champagne pastel, and it's fine. And I don't want to, I don't really want to get more pied stuff, because then, champagne pied is a white snake with a head stamp. And that really stinks for, some of the other spider complex and spot nose complex stuff, because, leopard spot nose pied would be kind of cool, but is it going to have that really reduced, high white?
But like also, if you add fucking pinstripe, NG, and Krypton, those all 3 add pattern. So would that end up adding something back?
I did see a champagne NG leopard.
But leopard knocks down pattern again though too. So
that's kind of up in the air now. So
right.
Like a lot of high pattern.
So you're right. Fucking Ozzy Boyd has that one that's just crazy pattern on its leopard.
Yeah, and I saw that, and it's like, okay, it does have some banding. Still got that champagne color, because I don't know if you're going to really get rid of that. But yeah, it's something, in the future that I do want to work with, just because it does so much stuff. I just don't really want to work it into my current projects until I have them established. For all we know, champagne ultra milk can be cool, but I don't want to gamble on that before I have, more, proven known quantity of, ultra milk stuff. What is up, Shelby? Thanks for tuning in. yeah, we'll see if I have to redo a pairing just to make a pairing, I'll do it again. But
Pretty
know,
cool.
and if champagne's still hot, I get a couple single genes out of it and sell them off. Is what it is. All right, so okay, we got that. You guys breed your own rodents?
Yep.
Are you guys breeding just the Norways, or are you breeding everything?
We got mostly Norways, but we got like let's see, we got probably 25 cubs with Norways, probably about 10 with ASFs, and then one colony of mice.
Yeah, I tried doing mice, and I couldn't get them to go. It's just like, all right, we're gonna try to add some more in here, and they were from the same litter. I had brought like a 1.2. Like, I want to make it a 1.4. So I go up from the same grow out tub at my buddy Brad's house, get more. What do? They all ate each other.
Huh.
It's like every time I tried to get, I couldn't get them to go. So I'm like, okay, we're just doing rats. But I do want to start ASFs just because they're smaller and start out smaller.
Yeah.
And
I like ASS for assist feeding a lot too. Like, they're smaller, but like it's in between that rat state, the rat and mice. So like the mice, I don't think have all that great nutrition.
Right.
So I would rather not use one of those. And with the rat, if you're trying to use something small enough, it's going to be like just a pinky, and it's not going to have like the bone structure. It's not going to have like the gut mode, like a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
So that ASF, like, it's already eating like some hard food and stuff, and like the skeletal system's there, and like.
Yeah, I mean they have fur by the time they're the size of a rat pinky.
Yeah.
So I do have some that I got from Chris at BNS, but when I get the second rodent rack, I think I'm going to start ASFs just because it's going to be a heck of a lot easier when I have hatchlings, and I'm not. Are you going to have a litter that's going to be the right size?
Yeah.
When it's feeding day.
Right.
I've run into that where it's like, come on, really? And I'm feeding something either that's smaller than I want to, because I obviously it gets to the point where it can be too big, and it's like you don't want to do that to a snake that has eaten 6 times and might not realize that this is too big. So I definitely err on the side of smaller.
Yeah.
What are you guys feeding your rodents?
What are we feeding them? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Combination of Missouri and the Kalmbach.
Okay. Yeah. I'm feeding Kalmbach as well. For the price per, I guess, pound, I get the 50-pound bag, and it was under $30. Now I think it's like $35, but it's still, for me, it's cheaper to get that than it is for the Missouri.
You get it from Chewy or whatever.
Yep. And I have a Chewy distribution center, like, local, so everything I order from Chewy, pretty much I get it next day. So it's great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wish the feed store would carry that stuff. And there's a char. It's like a horse store. So they got all the Western wear, and they have feed supplies and stuff like that. But they don't have, like, even Tractor Supply doesn't have the rodent stuff. I guess it's not cost effective for them to get it unless there's a lot of.
Yeah, they're mostly dealing with farmers, and the farmers, the last thing they want is rats and mice.
Right. And I think in Agway, I found that they had Kent, and those rodent blocks were like, I don't know, huge. And
yeah, we use Kent, but like we definitely noticed, like, if you put any other food next to that Kent, they'll eat the other food first. Like, they don't really like the Kent.
It seems like they like the Missouri best, and then the Kalmbach, and then the Kent.
Yeah. For me, they like the Kalmbach over to Missouri, and then so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to add any more, feed. You're going to eat whatever Missouri or Kent or whatever that heck's left there. So I'm not wasting it. But I definitely happy that I had all 3 at the same time, and I did that video of what it was my experience with it. I mean, it wasn't going into details about what was in the food. It was, do they like it or don't they?
Right.
And here's how this ginormous Kent food, and then Kalmbach's much smaller comparatively, but I mean, yeah, whatever works for your rodents and you're producing. So
We tried dog food, like it was actually a more expensive dog food that I just wasn't going to use for my dogs, and they actually. We came in the next day and it was all over the floor, like they were just tossing it, like they
did not want.
Yeah, they want this shit.
And that's one thing that concerns me. For a while, people were doggy bag. Tractor Supply used to have this dirt cheap dog food.
Yeah.
And people were feeding that.
Putting it on doggy bag.
Yeah, apparently the rats like that dog food. I'm guessing dogs probably don't.
But I mean, that stuff made sense if you had like a big breed dog where you're that $80 bag of feed is lasting you 3 days. You can throw in the doggy bag to sort of bulk up
Right.
the meal, so the dog's not eating you out of house and home.
Right.
Well, I like my little beagle. That the 50-pound bag lasts me a couple months. So.
They said the ingredients on that doggy bag were very similar to like Missouri if you looked at and compared the ingredients.
Yeah, I've had some people ask me, like, can you feed like other animal feed? It's like I wouldn't, because you don't know, if you're feeding hog feed or something else, is it formulated for a 300-pound pig's body, with what's in it. So if you have the medications and whatnot, you're over medicating a tiny rodent with something that's meant for a pig.
Yeah, Logan is saying in the chat right now that doggy bag is equal to Missouri
minus the yucca. Okay.
Yeah, the yucca is for the ammonia smell.
It'd be nice if they still had that damn dog food then, because I mean it was like $10 a bag for like 50 pounds. It was ridiculously cheap.
Right.
Not that I'd feed it to my dog, but it's definitely a nice supplement. So with breeding your own rodents, you have they're readily available. How often are you guys feeding your ball pythons?
Every 2 weeks, unless they're like in a building stage.
So right
really
now,
good. They're wanting food every week, then we'll feed them every week.
Yeah, so right now, pretty much everything gets offered once a week with everybody feeding right now. So
yeah. And are you guys feeding smaller meals or the appropriate size?
We feed medium frozen cod. They're usually about 100 grams.
yeah, about 100 gram rat.
Okay.
We do frozen cod for most of ours, but some of them take live. We're not against live.
Some prefer live ASF.
Yeah.
Right. You get that one that won't eat what everybody else eats.
Yeah, that super Cybers girl we got, she would only eat mice when we first got her, and then she finally started taking ASFs, and she still hasn't taken a Norwegian. At least she's taken ASFs. So
But something that's super nice about doing at least part of your collection on frozen dog is if your rats are acting up and they ain't breeding as good, you can actually still just get frozen rats.
Right.
It's
right. Yeah.
Frozen than live.
Yeah. So it's a nice, easier way to supplement, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like because we have ran low a few times, and like if I have to order rats, I only order mediums because that's what takes the longest.
Right. Yeah.
And you can get medium frozen cod for like $3 a piece. So I mean, you get like 50, 60 mediums, and you're able to feed your collection a week or two, at least adults, and that helps your rats build up for that couple of weeks.
Yep. Yeah. Luckily for me, I'm at the point now where I'm overproducing rodents, so I'm at this weird, like, either I have to start selling the frozen ones because I'm going to run out of room.
Right. That's a good problem to have, though.
Right. So, I mean, but down the line, it's I'm going to need more rodents, obviously, as I get more snakes. But I'm running into, it's like, okay, which one's going to take frozen thawed? Like, I have to gamble as I run down the stock in the freezer. Which ones do I know will take frozen thawed regardless?
Right.
That's what they're getting. Everybody else is going to get, whatever overproduction I have. It's just sort of that gamble because I don't have anything, that can eat a medium aside from, 2 or 3 ball pythons. So if I thought like 3 of them, one of them doesn't eat, that's a waste of a rodent, and I don't have anything else to, eat. And it was nice when I had the caiman because that thing was my garbage disposal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys didn't eat, just throw it in there, it'll eat it.
What we tend to do when we feed frozen thaw is we never heat up what we're trying to feed. We always heat up, roughly half to 2/3, maybe 3/4 at the most of what you're trying to feed, because that way you're pretty much assured you're going to get rid of everything, and then you can always second night. And that's what we usually do is feed 2 nights in a row, and we got a pretty good idea that second night of how many we're going to need, which ones turn down the first night, and then that second night you can always double something up that ate the first night if you absolutely have to, but it's hard. You can't double up the same night usually.
And we put our cards in different places. Like this would be they just ate. This would be like they ate last week. And this would be like they ate 2 weeks ago or more. So we always try to feed the stuff that's over there first, because those are our more picky ones. So then we're left with the ones that we know will eat. So we kind of
I sort of do the same thing. Like I'll go to the pickier ones first, and I know like that bumblebee spark is gonna eat whatever I throw in there. So she's usually last.
Yeah, we got several garbage disposals.
Yeah.
She took it wasn't a full grown breeder male, but it was starting because I had to add some females and I had this extra male that I had no use for breeding wise, so I had to call him. She took that thing down, and it was a good like hour and a half of her trying to eat this damn thing. I mean, she's big, so I mean, she was able to, it was the right size for her, but it was just like she's used to eating smalls.
Right.
Like 2 of them. So that's generally how my approach for like everything, because mediums do take forever to grow up, and I only have so many in the freezer. Is I'll feed 2 smalls.
There you go.
There you go.
So they'll get whatever like the biggest small is, and then like a little, whatever I'm pulling out of the the rack to grow out. So it's sort of getting the same amount of food, and I don't have to waste the time growing up. Because you get into a medium rat, you're gonna you might as well just breed them at that point. So it's sort of I like the system I have. I have a 20 high or something that I used to grow up the next generation of breeders, and then once they have a litter, it's time to retire my oldest ones. And I always like having a backup. So there's like 3 or 4 that could be breeders that are growing up just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, we always try to feed off our males first when it comes to rodents, just because like you never know whenever you're gonna need a female.
Right. And I the first time I retired them, I screwed up. I didn't pull the male quick enough. And it's just like, oh man. And I knew it the second I took care of everything. It's like, oh, these were pregnant. And that's sort of, so now I'll pull the male, wait a couple days to make sure that I'm not going to have any more litters. But that was like, I can't believe I did that. Like, and it was obvious too. Like,
yeah, it can happen.
And what I think I want to try to do, since I don't have anything that can eat the full the large, the jumbos, I don't have anything that's that big, is I want to maybe at like 8 months or something is retirement out as pets. But one of the issues is they're not necessarily friendly because their handling is me cleaning them, and that's it. Right. So I don't want to be like, here's this cute Dumbo rat with whatever, and it's gonna bite a kid. I mean, they
Yeah.
bite.
All of our rats are pretty chill. The ASFs are kind of big guys, though.
Yeah, it's mostly if the ASFs have babies, lungs will basically come after whatever comes in the tub. Like,
Yeah, for me, it's like I should handle them more, but at the same time, it's like if I handle them, then I'm gonna get attached, and
right. I ran into that at the beginning too, and I just
and it was hard, for the first couple colonies that I had to retire. It's like, man, these things have treated me so well, and what am I gonna do? But I mean, it is what it is. But if I could, for some of the ones that have decent genetics, as far as the blues and the grays and some of the pattern stuff in there, if I can sell them for pet prices, I can cover. One rat's gonna pay for the food for a month.
Yeah. We sold rats for like $20-$25 each. Like if they were Dumbo hairless rats, like you could pay $20-$25 each for them.
Yeah.
Like I hate the hairless ones, but they sell as pets.
Right.
It's like
I don't know why people like those as pets. I think the furry ones are so much cuter than the hairless ones.
The hairless
Yeah.
ones are sex.
Yeah, they just look weird. They look like they got a disease or something.
yeah. I'm hoping that I can get the blues, grays, and the blacks into I forget what the hell it's called, but it's like the one that with the splotches and the pattern. I forget what that mutation is in rats, but if I can get those different colors in with that pattern, I think that'd be cool because they're all Dumbo at this point.
Right.
Everything's got big ass ears.
Right.
Yeah,
Most of the ours are Dumbo at this point.
but just trying to if I can make extra income and I can make the rats pay for themselves, why not?
Right.
And then I'm sure there's tax ramifications and because now they're inventory and I'm sure I can write them off. What stinks is in some places you would qualify as a farm, so then you can write off a lot more. We'll see how that works later on once I get out of this place. But yeah, sorry, the dog wanted to play.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. This is approaching my dinner time, and we're at the 90-minute mark already, and it feels like we just started.
Right.
And I'm terrible at planning out, the question. Like I should write, at this time, ask this question to sort of move it along, because then I feel like when I do have a deadline and I have to be off, it's like, okay, fire round. Here's 5 questions, 5 seconds, go, and then we're done.
Again, whenever you do have it scheduled like that, the interview seems scheduled. Like I prefer more like free form, like what we're doing here.
Yeah, and that's what I sort of wanted to do, because a lot of times when it's somebody I'm unfamiliar with, for me the questions are helpful to sort of structure the interview where it's like they know what we're talking about and they're prepared. But for people I interact with, it's sort of easier to do these. Well, if we talk about it, we talk about it. I'm sure something else will come up, through the tangents and whatnot. And there was, I had my little reptile expo rant in the middle of this. But yeah, I like the more laid back stuff, especially like when we on New Year's Eve when we were all on, it was just sort of I don't really have to ask questions, and it's sort of we're just talking and sort of I like that form from time to time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so where do you guys see yourself in the next 5 years?
Doing the same thing pretty much. It's better genetics.
Right. Hopefully doing the same with better snakes.
Yep. Keep upgrading everything we got. Eventually, we're going to combine our clown and hypopide stuff. It's really crazy stuff.
Right.
So in like 5 years, that's when your multiple recessive projects are sort of going to start to overlap.
Hopefully, start working into twin recessives and stuff.
Yeah, I can't. Honestly, on my end, I can't wait until I have the project established and can offload some stuff and then bring in.
Yeah.
And I feel like that 5 years is probably because you should by that point have made your recessive projects and your double recessives that you were working with now. You should be well on your second gen.
Yeah.
Breeding your double visuals that you produced if you hit them. So, yeah, I feel like that 5 years is a good window because it gets you a couple recessive breeding seasons in.
Yeah. We're definitely hoping to be in a pretty crazy place for 5 years.
I honestly, the past 2-3 years, the stuff I've seen has been like mind blowing. Some of the stuff that's coming out, and the thing in 5 years when everybody's working, triples and quads, and that's gonna a triple is gonna be the new double. That sort of as we're seeing now, and just to see what the heck people are making and what the market looks like, because if it's going heavily into recessive, it's going to be a good market, I think, because they take time and they hold value.
Especially like quad recessive, like if you get a visual quad, that thing's going to be powerful for a long ass time.
Right, and
people are going to be taking a lot more risks doing head-to-head type stuff because of the testing now. So I mean, or head to non-head even, and then just test the babies. So
yeah. I definitely think that once they figure that out, and it you can just send in your sheds and you're going to know what it is, and that's going to change everything. Right now they're working out the kinks, but to be able to know exactly what that animal is, yeah, and it does take out the the gamble, Paz had to, Paz had, but for me that stuff. If I was going to do the pairing anyway, it just sets me back a year. If it's not het for clown, I'm going to make it het for clown because that's what I'm going for in the project. But I feel like on like say you hit I wouldn't even spend the money on it because it's a $50 snake if you miss at best. So if you have like a normal het pied, het clown, pause het, okay, if you have codoms in there, it makes more sense to test for that possible het. If you don't, at some point, like the value of the snake, if whatever that base is, has to justify you spending the money on the test.
Yeah,
for sure. You don't want to run the gambit of test, which is like I don't know for sure, but I'm just gonna say $150 on like a $120 or $50 fucking snake.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, if you have a massive collection where it's a business expense and you're doing it for everything, then I can see it. But if it's just like, I got to test this normal snake, I don't think it's worth it. But if you're sending 50 other sheds, why not? It says, yeah, I can see that. But having more animals, it makes sense. You get familiar with husbandry and stuff they can eat what ball python can't. All right, so I know we've talked about this on in the group chats and on a couple of lives. Are there any shows you plan on vending?
Be cool to vend at Tinley eventually, or in Arlington. Like Arlington's pretty close to us.
Something big would be cool, but
we
don't really have a lot of fucking high quality snakes,
and we don't do the local shows. It's all we have here is like the show me reptiles,
Right.
So we need NARBC over here.
Yeah, right.
And it's with what you're making is not worth the going to a smaller show. That makes sense.
We like to quarantine afterwards, and that's a lot of animals to quarantine.
Anytime we quarantine anything, which is absolutely anytime something comes in, it's 90 days. And we've had up to 5 quarantines going at the same time. I do not
recommend that.
Do not recommend. Just be patient. Don't have 5 different quarantines. Be a little bit more patient than us.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where I'm getting the animal from. I mean, they go through a quarantine where they're separate from everything. But, if I can tell there's no mites and, it's from somebody I like Chris at BNS, his snakes will have a shorter quarantine than something I'm buying from somebody I don't know what their facility looks like.
Right.
Because you might have, oh yeah, they got nice racks and everything, but inside the tubs is freaking disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would just rather quarantine absolutely everything. But we got a lot of nice stuff at this point. Is it really worth it?
Right. To bring in a sick snake but I think a lot of people now are doing the swab tests for various things, and like that's a big thing with certain breeders. So I mean, that and genetic testing might become part of doing business.
Right.
Here's the vet bill.
Right.
And
Well, the
I
price
know that if that's the cost of doing business now, to vet check a snake and genetic test a snake, the price of those animals is going to go up. And I think that could be bad, because we're not going to eat that cost. We're going to pass it on to the end user, or at least increase the price of the snake to offset the expenses of having to do this extra thing. And
buying it, I wouldn't mind paying more for something that's been tested for genetics and for like anything that could be wrong with it. Like,
right. I think one of the issues we'll run into is that like pet level keeper might not want to spend more, but a breeder.
I mean, are you going to do that for a snake under $500?
Right. Yeah. If it's a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 snake, you're probably more likely to do it.
Yeah. Right, because you're already spending the money, and you want to make sure you're getting what you're paying for, and it's healthy.
Yeah.
That's one of the risks we run. We buy an animal, it comes to us, and there's always a gamble that it might not thrive, because it happens. Or it's infertile, or there's so many things that can go wrong that we just have to be aware of and sort of plan for.
Yeah, any animal could have a problem, including human animals.
And I know I've talked to you about my issue with not having enough males this year. Luckily, it resolved itself because they started breeding. But I've been hearing that from a lot of people. They produce the males, sell them off. And they have ones in the rack growing up, and then when it comes time, it's like, well, they're not proven. So I think
they take their foot and go, wow.
Last night, I think KG said, sell the animal when its replacement is proven.
Yes.
And that resonated. It's like, well, yeah, because, I grew her up. I sold, mom. Yeah. No, she's not going to go. Now
that project's for a year.
2 or 3. And, that really resonated. And, now I'm definitely going to hold back some males. Maybe that I wouldn't normally hold back, but just to have them that work with the projects, that might be, a gene or 2 less than what I ideally would want. But it's just to have that just in case.
But like also said, if you don't have the exact same genes, you should really think about using a snake that has quite opposite genes, so that way you can still identify who the daddy was.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So while we're on the topic of reptile shows and whatnot, where are you guys planning on going to any of the NARBCs or any of the bigger ones in the coming year?
Planning on going to Tinley in October.
Right. I think that's about it, though.
Yeah, I think as far as it stands right now, it's like $600 or something like that to get out there for me to drive. So I'm going to put it on my calendar, and hopefully I have vacation days.
Right.
Because my family, we are going on vacation for the first time in forever. So I'm using a whole week for that. Hopefully. I don't want, with my luck, I'll go, and then like everything will be due to lay at that time, and I'll get a call from my buddy. Hey, you got eggs? It's like, well, can you film it? can you make sure everything? Like, that's my fear. Is that something will happen?
Yeah.
Because I know I've had it happen with my leopard geckos. That she'll lay a clutch, and I just have no idea. And then, I got the tiny little shriveled up eggs. It's like, oh, okay, I missed that, and I don't want to do that, with the ball pythons, because that'll ruin it. So we'll see. Hopefully. I've been saying it for like 2 years now that I'm going to Tinley, and I haven't followed through. So
That's a fun time, man. You got to make it out.
yeah, I mean, just to be able to see everybody. I mean, it's nice, going to local shows, but I can see, all the PA guys at, just about any show locally and, barbecues and whatnot. But to be able to see like everybody that I interact with for the most part, whether it's, in these live streams and podcasts or, on Instagram or whatever, just to be able to meet people. It's pretty cool. It's like, oh, geez, you guys are really that tall.
I don't think a lot of the local breeders around here go to shows because, like, unfortunately, like we were saying, a lot of our shows are pretty much just pet quality stuff.
Right. Yeah. Here it's.
We don't know a lot of actual bigger breeders here in Colorado or anything.
Yeah, I think in Pennsylvania we're lucky because our laws are reptile friendly, and by default there's going to be more people dealing with reptiles. But one of the things I don't like is like every weekend there's a reptile show. It's getting to the point now, like I think the same weekend as Tinley, there's one in Scranton and there's another one in like within driving distance from Scranton. It's like, well, okay, now if I got the Scranton show every other month, I'm not going to drive down to Philadelphia to go to Oaks. I'm not going to drive out to Hamburg. So you just took people away from those shows. So I think, having fewer shows that are better is nice.
Yeah, just like the snake collection, man. I want quality over quantity. Yeah.
Right. And what's the point of me buying this when I know you're going to be at this show or that show and it's still going to be on your table?
Right.
Well, then, I'm not going to see this guy again for a year.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my opinions about reptile shows. It's, I used to like going because I, could buy a bunch of stuff and, the prices are usually pretty good. But now it's sort of like I'll just buy it on Morph Market. Or the allure of going to a smaller show is sort of gone. All right. Where can people find you on social media?
YouTube, Instagram. We are on Facebook, but not very active.
I sure as hell.
That's pretty much it. YouTube and Instagram are our main focuses there. Yeah.
All right, and all their links and whatnot are in the description of the video. If you're not already following them, go give them a follow. Go check out their Morph Market. They've got I think 50 animals. You got quite a bit of stuff on your Morph Market right now.
Yeah, like 50 or 60 or something like that.
Yeah. So
And more to
I think gravel stuff. Yeah, go check out their Morph Market. They have some cool stuff that I always peruse through to see if
we got asked.
and I'm always perusing to see if something will work with what I'm working with. And generally it does. It's just I don't want to pull the trigger until I know what I'm producing. So I'm not doubling up, or I buy a male that I don't need because I produce 3. Now I have 4, type of thing.
Right.
All right. So any final words for the audience before I let you guys go?
Be kind to each other.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Yeah, that works.
Pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think definitely be positive and don't be a dick.
Breed dope shit.
Yeah. And that's one thing I have noticed lately is that the community is a lot more inclusive. Yeah, some people don't get along, and that's fine. But back in the day, it was like, okay, I'm going to send you this mail, but I cut off its everything.
Yeah.
So there was some shady stuff going on back in the day, or like Billy said, when they were buying females based, $1 a gram or whatever the hell it was, and they power feed the female for you get an extra $200, $300 out of you, and then it poops on the way there, and you get a smaller snake. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, or they'd sell you, you think you're getting a male and it's a female. There were things that, would help you not get ahead that people used to do, and I don't think that happens that much anymore. So it's been nice to see that. And I think, more breeders and more social media, I think that's allowed us to sort of connect. Because without social media, I wouldn't know who the hell you guys are.
Right.
You wouldn't know who I am. Our world and our markets have gotten bigger with social media. Come on, Mike.
What up, Mike?
Well, he's here. So I will start to close out the show. Next week, I do have Big Mike from 21st Century Reptiles as my guest. So that's going to be fun. It might be a little bit shorter because of the time difference, and it's going to be pushed up to midnight. But it is a Saturday, so we're going to try to keep him on, for the full 90 minutes to an hour.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Because he's always got great information. His takes on feeding, things like that. The more we can get that out there, I think it's going to be good for the hobby.
Yeah, that Mary G needs to get pumped, man.
Definitely.
Come over here.
All right, so tune in to see me and Big Mike next week. I should have a video dropping Tuesday. I think it's going to be about champagne, or it might be something else. We'll see. I still haven't put together the video, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. And Fred and AJ have their own live tomorrow. We can be with snakes. And who's your guest?
Tomorrow it's Jacob Ledbetter with Civil Service.
Yep.
And
he's probably one of the guys that can rival AJ with a beard.
right.
There are very few in the hobby that ginormous beard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's always a fun show. I will be watching football, so I probably won't be on the panel. Is what it is. I will be yelling and throwing stuff because my team will probably lose. But all right, thank you for joining. Thank everybody in the chat for bearing with us, watching this the whole time. I really appreciate it. It's kind of pretty cool that upwards of 20 of y'all were watching us just talk about snakes for 2 hours. I mean, it sort of blows my mind that people actually want to listen to us talk. But thanks again, Fred and AJ. It's been nice to actually be able to do this since we're not running into each other on a Sunday show. So yeah, I do like the new time, the new space. Unfortunately, it runs into football. But we'll make it work. And I can definitely go up until 6. And if you still want to watch ball python content today, about 6 minutes or so, Glenn from 419 Morphs is going to be going live with Gavin from Balls to You. So that should be fun. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Right on. Peace out, everybody. Thank you. Oh, wee.